This is a video to go over the steps involved to directly share videos with students of your recorded Zoom meetings for classes. And so the first step is to download and install this program called Google Backup and Sync. You can Google that and it'll take you to a download page like this. What you want to do is download and install that. And then it should show up in your applications folder in the Finder in the computer, your applications house there, as Google Drive file stream right here. And what you want to do is set that up initially, which it'll ask you to log in and choose what parts of the computer you want to sync. But the cool thing is, once you have that set up and installed completely, you will see this, notice this shortcut right here in the left sidebar, a Google Drive section of your computer house, your hard drive that is local. And it's still keeping things essentially in the cloud, but these are kind of referencing sections of your Google Drive, which is awesome. So that's the first step. We want to get access to your Google Drive directly through Finder, which you can do through Backup and Sync. All right, so once that is set up, the next thing you want to make sure is that you have the Zoom application downloaded and installed on the computer as well. And you can do that also by Googling it. So install Zoom Mac, something along those lines, and make sure that you go ahead and install Zoom for the Mac. Once you have that installed and set up completely, here it is, yeah, Zoom client for meetings. Make sure that's installed. Once you have that set up, you should then be able to open Zoom as a separate application like this. And what we want to look at is the settings area of Zoom. So you could actually click on your little profile here and then settings. Make sure you're logged in with your Hillbrook account, by the way. All right, and there's a lot of things to look at here. What we want to do is look for the recording area in your settings. So check this out. And notice the very first option here is I can select where I want to store my Zoom recordings by default. And notice that I can choose a new location. Right now I have it set to Dropbox. That's just my personal preference, but because you'll be sharing these with students and students are using Google apps, we want to use Google Drive. So since you already have your Google Drive accessible in the Finder on your hard drive, I can then go to that same Google Drive section in the sidebar and then choose either a shared folder that you set up manually with your students, or possibly, it might make more sense to use a section of your Google Classroom folder within this. It's up to you, as long as it's a folder that is accessible to your students. All right. And then once you choose that area, I could choose this Meet recordings, although that's a separate folder for Google Meet recordings as well, but that'd be kind of cool to merge them. And notice it changes to whatever you select in your drive. So the idea is that now, assuming that students have access to the folder you selected in Google Drive, they will now be able to automatically see those recordings in that folder without you having to manually share or upload video clips to them.